Oh, I guess it's time for us to start the service. Well, good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to First Universalist Church. This morning's prelude is Moments by Alexis French from Brock Cheswold, who is our fabulous music director. So please take a deep breath, settle in. Let us just join in this worship experience together. It's good to be here together. Good morning and welcome to the First Universalist Church of Rochester, where we are called to nurture the spirit and to serve the community. Wherever you come from, we welcome you here this morning. Whoever you are, we welcome you here. Whomever you love, we welcome you. And wherever you have found stillness and wherever you desire it to be in your life, We welcome you here this morning. We welcome all of you. It is good, it is good, it is good to be together this morning. If you were here for the first time this morning or visiting for the second or third time, we especially welcome you. Thank you so much for taking the time in this space to find our virtual online worshiping community. We have a visitors form that can be found in the chat. Please click on it and fill out the form at your convenience so we can welcome you beyond this virtual sacred space and welcome you in a deeper way. As we gather this morning, already people have been popping into the chat to offer a welcome to folks who are here. If you have not already done so, please pop into the chat and just offer us a greeting. Let us know that you are here. It could be a good morning, a hello, just a quick wave, whatever. So find the chat at the top or the bottom of the side of your screen, and please pop in to say good morning. It is so good to be together with each other. Welcome. Welcome, welcome to worship at First Universalist Church. Our opening hymn this morning is hymn number 108, My Life Flows On in Endless Song. Let us join hearts and voices in singing together this morning, recognizing that even as we are singing muted in our own homes, we are creating a song across the city of Rochester, our country, and the world. So let us sing together hymn number 108, My Life Flows On in Endless Song.
When my mind is still and alone with the beating of my heart, I remember things too easily forgotten. The purity of early love, the maturity of selfish love that seeks nothing but others' good, the idealism that has persisted throughout the tempest of my life. When my mind is still and alone with the beating of my heart, I find a quiet assurance at the inner peace in the core of my being. It can face the doubt and loneliness the anxiety, it can accept these harsh realities and can even grow because of these challenges to my essential being. When my mind is still and alone, and the beating of my heart, I can sense my basic humanity. Then I know that all men and women are my brothers and sisters. Nothing but my own fear can separate me from love of friends. If I can trust others, accept them, enjoy them, then my life shall surely be richer and more full. If I can accept others, this will help them to be more truly themselves, and they will be more able to accept me. When my mind is still and alone with the beating of my heart, I know how much life has given me. The history of the race, friends and family, the opportunity to work, the chance to build myself, then wells within me to live a more life abundantly with greater trust and joy, with more profound seriousness and earnest striving, and yet more calmly at the heart of life. As we light our chalice at First Universalist Church and in your own homes, will you join me in saying our chalice words in unison? May we be a people of welcome, here to grow in heart and mind and spirit, and may we reach out to serve our community. Please join me in our affirmation of faith, followed by our doxology. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve humanity in fellowship, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the source and meaning of life. Thus do we covenant with each other and with all. Spaces for stillness and silence have often been uncommon in our lives. Perhaps these days have felt a little more still and lonely only to you. Yet, we come here together each week to embrace silence together, to embrace stillness together. This is not just a solitary act. This is a spiritual act done alongside people who care about you and whom you care about. This morning, our offering goes to support the good works of this spiritual community, a place where we can share silence, stillness, and moments of reflection together, no matter how near or far we are from one another. An offering will now be collected. Please click the link in the chat to give online to First Universalist Church, or feel free to send a check to the church. Thanks in advance for your generosity.
morning, First Universalist family. In sitting with stillness and looking for creative outlets for understanding that, today's story is Peaceful Piggy Meditation by Carrie Lee McLean, who is a great resource for meditation for children and families. Sometimes the world can be such a busy, noisy place. Sometimes it feels like you are always in a hurry, hurry, hurry. And you feel like you can't slow down, even when you're sitting down. It can be hard not to lose your temper when you're angry. And you can get really frustrated when things don't go your way. So it's good to have a peaceful place inside. It's good to meditate. Peaceful piggies know when to take a break. Find a quiet spot and just breathe, breathe, breathe. Mom or Dad might help them set up a special place with a few things, maybe a crystal for clear thinking, a stone for stillness, or even a flower for kindness. Peaceful piggies like to sit like a king or queen on their throne, feeling the solid earth beneath them and the big sky all around them. Every day they sit, feeling their breath going in and out until their minds calm down. So peaceful piggies feel free like a bird in the sky, and as calm as a pond on a cool, clear night. This makes it easier to accept things that happen and stop wishing for things to be different. Come back to life, Goldie. She's gone. When you're peaceful, you can be truly fearless. Best of all, when you're feeling peaceful, you like who you are, just as you are. So it's easier to face the truth about yourself. I'd better say sorry. I was mean to her. And it's easier to stand up to others. Peaceful piggies take good care of their friends. And their enemies, too. They try to be loving and kind to all beings, even worms. By slowing down, peaceful piggies notice all the little magical things in life, like the way raindrops race each other down the window, the way clouds tell silent stories, and the way birds sing songs just for you. Having a peaceful place inside helps keep a happy heart happy, so that even on a horrible, painful, disgustingly rotten day, a peaceful piggy can smile. Thank you.
ones, I want to invite you now into a time, this reverent time, of sharing the joys and the sorrows of our gathered community. If you would like to, you can place a hand over your heart to be able to listen from a heart-centered place. As I drop stones into the bowl, you are invited to write in the chat any of the joys and the sorrows that are resting on your heart and mind this morning, that we as a community may hold them and be with you in the different joys and the sorrows of your life. So let us now enter into this time of sharing the joys and the sorrows of this gathered community. I have a joy from Gary Levine that Phil Ebersole turns 84 on December 14th. Happy birthday early, Phil, and we are certainly celebrating with you. Oh, I share a joy to have a cute and purring cat curled up on my lap this morning from Emma Berry, our office administrator, hoping that you all have some sort of companion with you, or if you don't, you can imagine it there. Beautiful. We loved the joyful St. Nicholas night by Zoom with Connie last night from Jody Reynolds, and I'm assuming also from Henry and Caitlin and Chris. How wonderful to still be able to celebrate that important St. Nicholas night on Zoom. A joy from MJ Curry to see Brock walking down the street in person while I was walking the dog the other day. Isn't it always a joy to have these chance random occurrences when we get to actually see each other in person? A stone for all of those that we get to experience. A sorrow that COVID is so out of control all over the country. And we will just hold that deep and big sorrow that I imagine all of us are sitting with right now. A joy from John Lukes that his daughter and her family seem to be recovering from COVID. Yay! But a sorrow that his dear friend John Schuberg did not survive COVID. So we will drop one stone in the bowl for recovery and another for John to hold his memory and to honor his memory. Oh my gosh, a bittersweet mixture of a joy and sorrow from Connie Volk, who signed the papers to finalize her house closing. Wow, Connie, holding you in our hearts. Oh, Johanna shares that she is still joyful that her San Fran family is still here. Joining you in that joy, Johanna. I hope you all are having a great visit. A sorrow from MJ Curry that her brother-in-law lost the Progressive Party primary in Burlington, Vermont because of some shenanigans in the party that didn't give him same access to a voter list. I'm so sorry, MJ, and just holding your brother-in-law in our hearts. A joy from Marty Eggers to have sweet Hershey sleeping on her lap. My goodness, the pets abound. Sending love to you and Hershey, Marty. Sorrow from Rachel Arado. Her sister Rebecca tested positive for COVID-19 yesterday, and holding the sorrow that it is hard to be away from her, and holding your sister in our thoughts and our prayers, Rachel, and holding the hardness of having to be distant from one another. A joy from Shirley Malone that her niece and 3 of her family members are recovering from COVID. One member living there also did not get it. Wow. Another stone for recovery. A joy from Eileen Musson that her wonderful sister Ann Rhodey came to see her this week. It felt so good just to gab with each other, even with masks on. Ann and Eileen just joining in your joy together. I'm glad you all were able to get together. From Elizabeth Osta, a sorrow that her friend Jane is in the hospital. We are holding Jane in our thoughts and in our prayers. Elizabeth. Oh my gosh, and a sorrow from Brock that his mother, a nurse, also tested positive for COVID, and we are praying that it remains mild. Certainly, Brock, holding you and your mom and your whole family in our thoughts and in our prayers. Dear ones, this morning I feel so moved by how many stones are in this bowl around both recovery and infection. I'm just recognizing that in this second wave of coronavirus, in this second wave of COVID, that we are holding so much in this community. We are holding so many folks in our hearts, so many folks in our joys and in our sorrows. Bridget, thank you so much for mentioning this. Bridget Watts shares a sorrow for the members of Middle Collegiate Church in New York City that burned this week. Middle Collegiate Church has long been a powerhouse of justice work and multiracial church collaboration and beauty and so much in that community and for so many in our denomination. So we are just holding Middle Collegiate Church in our hearts and certainly sending our support their way. Dear ones, I will drop one final stone into the bowl for all the joys and the sorrows left unspoken in the silent sanctuaries of our hearts. And I really feel the need this morning to drop one stone in the bowl as well for all of the grief that we are experiencing, for all of the hope and the grief that is to come. May all be held in the heart of love. So many of you may know that this past week I was away on a retreat out in the woods, and I was sitting by this beautiful waterfall. The water was flowing so smoothly down these cascading rocks. And as I watched it fall and flow, it calmed me. One could say I even felt like a peaceful piggy. And instantly, as I was sitting there in this moment of meditation, I thought to myself, I want to share this moment with you all, with our First Universalist community. So I'll invite you now to get comfortable wherever you are, to sit back in your seat, and to actually take this time as a visual meditation. I'm going to share this waterfall with you. I took some video of it for 3 straight minutes, so we are really going to settle into this experience together. As you are watching it, see if you can watch a piece of water flowing from the top of the waterfall all the way to the bottom of the falls. Watch the water flow. And just notice how you pay attention to your heart and see where your spirit is stirring. After this sharing, I will just ring the bell once to signify a time of shared silence. We will just transition right into that silence after the waterfall. And I will ring it again a second time to invite us to sing together. So let us enjoy this visual meditation together. As it is the first Sunday of December and we are entering into the season of Advent, our hymn of contemplation for the month of December is hymn number 225, O come, Emmanuel. Let us join in singing together. Our reading this morning is entitled As the Year Winds Down from Mark Stringer. As the year winds down to its close, we are submerged once again in the seasonal darkness we have come to know so well. We have reason to think back upon the year that was, if only because it will soon be gone. We think back to the friends we have made, the sorrow we have endured, the love we have found, the loneliness we have survived. We think back to the blessings of being forgiven and the gift we offered ourselves when we forgave. We think back to those who listened to us in our times of need and the times we could have listened more. We think back to the things we traded for our time and to what we may have overlooked in the process. We think back to the times when we were afraid and uncertain, and we trudged ahead anyway, and the times when we were compassionate when we could have been cold. In this season of still growing night, may we see more clearly against the dark backdrop of our living, the true light of our lives, the love we give to others, and the peace we nurture in ourselves. Sometimes when I'm preaching with you all, I like to just turn it to gallery view so I can actually look at your faces. It helps at times when I am preaching in an empty room to be able to look at your faces. As we enter into this season of stillness and slowing down, I have to wonder, how is it with your spirit? I wonder each week, of course, how you are doing, but I wonder specifically this morning how it is with your spirit. That part of us that yearns to connect with the sacred, that piece of us that is drawn to something larger than ourselves, however we define that something. That voice inside us that is often called intuition, or the still small voice, or gut instinct. How is that part of you doing? How is it doing as we continue to trudge our way through this time period? A couple of weeks ago, I recognized that I had been ignoring that voice inside myself. I had been going and going and going and going, and please know, I am not complaining. I love what I do for a living. I love that I get to do it with you all. It is my truest calling and my deepest passion. I happen to really be experiencing a deep call of clarity, a clarity of call in this time period. But I was meeting with some of our church leaders one day, and someone mentioned that there was just no room for reflection in their life. That attending Zoom meeting after Zoom meeting after Zoom meeting was wearing on their spirit. That it was hard to find the space to have deep thoughts or to just get to that voice inside all of us. And that statement really resonated with me. Like it spoke something into that space that was a deep truth for me. And once I heard it, I could not let it go. You know how sometimes the truth can just function that way? Where when somebody else speaks it, it just keeps ringing in your head again and again and again. It tugs on your heart. There has been no room for reflection in this time period. So I knew I needed to make some room for stillness, for quiet, and for contemplation. And it was clear that this time was needed pretty quickly. Sometimes there is this elusive thought, this seductive thought that we can hold out, even when the call for stillness is there. Sometimes there is the thought, oh, if I can just make it to this time or this day or past this milestone, then I can rest. Then I can be still. And I just know that this is a lie I tell myself when it seems too hard to step away. Yet often in moments when it needs to deeply be done. Has stillness been calling you at all? Have you been so still to the point of boredom recently? Have you felt your time and your days filling up, even though this time of year, coupled with this pandemic, is slowing us down? That busyness feels to me in my life like running from something. Or perhaps remaining busy enough to feel the satisfaction of being productive. Not to show my Marxist roots too strongly, but this is how capitalism works. Capitalism tells us that our worth is in how much we can produce, how much we can achieve. If we aren't doing anything, are we even worthy? If we are slowing down, do our lives still have meaning and purpose? Living lives of spirit, which is what I hope we are here to learn how to do together. Living lives of spirit means we must tend to our hearts and our deepest callings. Our yearnings in here first. Living lives of spirit means taking the focus off of what we can check off of the to-do list and spending more time listening within, trusting that the things that need to get done will get done in time. Living lives of spirit means embracing stillness, finding a place of inner peace when all outside of us feels chaotic and out of control. Dear ones, this is not an easy road. We can speak of it in terms of, what we can do in a children's story this morning, but it is not an easy road to find stillness regularly. It is not easy at this time of year, especially, to slow down and to be still. Yet people are dying, and we must find ways to slow down and to be still. The hustle and the bustle of this winter holiday season must transform. The ways we are with one another must transform. Because I'm not encouraging stillness here this morning solely for the benefit of you or for the benefit of your family and the loved ones around you. I'm encouraging stillness because each one of us needs to be grounded in this moment to respond to this pandemic. I'm encouraging stillness because the best way to do something about the rapid spreading of coronavirus is to stay where you are and engage in activities outside of your home less. Yes, we have so many places we can be on Zoom, and I am so grateful for this platform. We would not be having church without it. We wouldn't be here together today without this platform. The people who teach in our community would not be able to work with their students without it. The folks here who go to school or who have kids who go to school would not be able to learn without these screens and the platforms we use to connect. Our holidays would have been just that much more lonely this year. And yet, still feels like we are not able to have space to sit with what is happening. We are moving from Zoom meeting to Zoom meeting to Zoom meeting with no travel time or spaciousness in between. And I'm especially looking at those of us who have had to work from home or to work remotely in this time period. We have no space to sit with what is going on, to sit with our hearts in the midst of all of this, to reflect on and celebrate all that we have survived, and to find our way forward, to remind ourselves of what is pulling us forward. I fear that without stillness and reflection time, we will lose out on the monumental opportunity before us to truly shift the ways we have been doing things. I fear we will lose out on the chance to sit with the Spirit and to discern our deepest longings. I fear we might miss the chance right in front of us to care for ourselves and others in deeper ways than our capitalist system tells us to. For so many of us, life has been about caring for ourselves and our families. What this faith requires of us is a deeper care, a care of our entire community, putting care at the center of all that we do, nurturing the spirits of all while serving the community. Without stillness, we might miss our chance. Without reflection time, we may miss the call. Perhaps you have made space for stillness and quiet in your schedule in recent days, and perhaps you have not. If you have been able to make that space, I wonder what you are hearing. I wonder where you feel called. I wonder if you have a sense of how to get there or what your next move needs to be. If you have not been able to find stillness, I wonder where you can make a beginning. Just find a little space. I wonder where you can make that space, create an intentional clearing to return back to you, to return back to Spirit, to the divine. I do not make this invitation to shame you. I make this invitation out of a space of deep concern and love for you all. If we are not caring for ourselves, we are not going to have the capacity to be with the changes that this time period is calling us into. If we are not caring for ourselves, we risk burnout, risk harming the ones we love around us, whom we love the most, of course, and on whom we are relying pretty heavily right now. And I know that for many of us, this may seem like an impossible ask. This seems like something that feels out of the scope of possibility right now. For many, the experience of this pandemic has been more of a speeding up rather than a slowing down. Kids are home from school and we are keeping track of their homework assignments and their virtual school schedules. Our jobs have asked more of us, whether at home or in the office, and we have been adjusting, steadily adjusting, rapidly changing to accommodate all that is being asked of us. Taking time for stillness right now might not seem like a viable practice for you. And I want to challenge you to make that time, because I believe our very lives depend on it. Our survival depends on it. I am finding that stillness is a practice. It's also an adjustment. It would probably come as no surprise to some of you to know that stillness takes some settling in for me. The first couple of days that I was away were squirmy. I felt like I needed to be doing something on this retreat, accomplishing something, reading great books, writing something, coming out of this with something that I could share with you all. By the third day, I found that it was just time to go to that deep voice within, to finally settle down, to stop going, to spend time by a stream, or to just go outside with many layers on, watching the natural world wake up and fall asleep, getting in tune with the rhythm of the days, time out of time. taking a break from staying up late, watching television, and meeting each day with all of the energy I could muster, making space to recognize we are grieving, to recognize we are surviving a pandemic, to recognize how much our lives are actually being shifted by this time period. And I have to share that I learned so much by engaging with this practice of stillness. I learned that in seeking stillness, we can find grounding. We can find space to return to what we value most, what our deepest held beliefs are. It is a significant part of sustaining ourselves in this pandemic. We must know who we are and what we believe in. We must return regularly there, or we risk growing out of touch with what sustains us and what we hold most dear. We need stillness to truly connect with the earth, to know the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part, to see that web in action before us and to know our place in it. The earth is holding us, providing so much for us, continuing to be a solid source of deep nourishment and beauty in the midst of times that are deeply saddening, troubling, and worrisome. And the earth itself is slowing down in this season. If we stop and if we pay attention, we hear the encouragement from the earth for us to join in that slowing down, to join in this time period of paying attention, of freezing, of stopping, of making space for something to grow later, of course, but of not always trying to do, go. To connect with the earth puts our lives in perspective. This time for me has been one where it seems the earth is regularly calling me to get outside, to appreciate the season's changes. As this pandemic was settling in, my spouse and I were keeping an eye on the weather app constantly for days that were warm enough to get outside this past March. Throughout the spring into summer, we watched the world come back to life with new growth, families of baby geese growing from goslings to adults, trees having whole life cycles, from new buds and leaves to shedding the leaves and going back to bare branches again. This connection to the seasons is sacred, and it is a gift of this time period, whether you are out in the natural world or just viewing it from your window. And this morning, I am asking you to embrace stillness as an act that saves lives. Not just avoid the spread of COVID, though I would say that is a big part right now of stillness saving lives. We must remain more still and hunker down now, again, in order to keep each and every one of us alive. And we must engage in this practice for just a bit longer. Yet also, this is about saving your own life. It is about sitting with what has been coming up for you in this time period, checking in, slowing down, allowing your heart and spirit room to just be. We need this space. We need it to make meaning of our lives as they are right now. We need it for reflection and prioritizing and to check in with our own capacity to care for others and for ourselves. We need this space for accepting the world that we find ourselves in now, in the present day. In the weeks ahead, may you find stillness. May you find that space to slow down with this season's change. May you find room for reflection, however you can make the time. May you find a way to check in with spirit and to know your heart's calling, your heart's longings, your deepest truths. And may your commitment to this practice preserve life for you and for the people in your community, that we may live to see a future where our lives have been transformed by this time. Amen. Blessed be, and may it be so. Our final hymn this morning is hymn number 352, Find a Stillness, because I think it just has to be. We have to sing this song this morning. So we invite you to remain muted and sing out from your home, again, creating a collective song from wherever we find ourselves. As we extinguish our flame this morning, our chalice flame, both here at First Universalist and yours at home, please join me in saying our chalice extinguishing words together. We extinguish this flame, but we keep its light in our hearts with its message of love and justice, taking it outside these walls to the world we live in until we are together again. Dear friends, as we enter into the time to close our service, I'll invite you to reach your hands out to the edge of your screen, to turn your screen to gallery view, and to see the different folks here that you are connecting with at the end of our time. Let us reach out and let none of us be alone in this moment. If you are joining us by phone, please place a hand to your heart and think of someone that you love in this community, or just someone that you love. Dear friends, as we go forth this morning, I'll just invite us for a second just to listen. Listen to the beating of your heart. Listen to the stillness. Find space in your days to listen to the silence. As we go forth this morning, may you know some peace this week. May you know it deep down in your heart, in your spirit, in your very being, deep down to your bones. And when you get there, may you know that you are loved. May you know that you are loved at your deepest core, and may you go forth to be that love to any whom you encounter in the days ahead. Amen. Blessed be, and may it be so. And as we close our service, I'll invite you to follow me, after the benediction with the words, I embrace stillness, as we enjoy a postlude from the Gathered Here Quartet.